And hello, everybody. We are live today at Wings Etc. in Valparaiso. It's part of the Valpo Coaches Bus Tour, which began yesterday and concludes here today. We start at Wings Etc. Later on today, the Valpo Coaches will be handing out free scoops at Valpo Velvet Ice Cream Shop in downtown Valparaiso. And then later on today, right back in this neighborhood, there'll be an Inman's at 5 o'clock. Free bowling for all Valpo fans from 5 to 7 o'clock tonight. I am Todd Ickow. I will serve as your host here today. We will talk to 11 Valpo coaches, and we'll start right away with the head football coach of the Valparaiso Beacons, Andy Waddle. Andy, great to have you here.
Great to be here.
You're coming up on your second year, just finished your first season. Let's start off with kind of what you tried to do culture-wise when you came in as the new head coach a season ago at Valpo.
Yeah, I mean, I think that culture is something that we talk about a lot, and you know, you want your guys to get a mindset of really completely buying into the program. Our word that we use is fight, and that stands for a lot of different things, and it starts with the mentality of being all in and understanding there's going to be sacrifice and pain and no promises, but we're still all in. Each letter means something different. The F is about being fearless. The I is living your life with integrity. The G is showing grit, the H is heart, and the T is toughness. So we want to combine all that. That's really what we want our culture to be about, and I think you know, we got some buy-in in that last year. You know, we also had some hard times that a lot of guys taking their first year as a starter, but we're excited because I think the buy-in has been there, and we're ready to spring forward into the 2026 season and do some great things. And
you certainly, as a team, grew as the season went on. Right. I think that was really evident in the final two games of the year. You're down 24-0 at home against Stetson. That memorable comeback, 4 for 4 on 2-point conversions. That crazy finish, getting the touchdown and the 2-point conversion on last play of regulation. Probably the drive, one of the greatest drives in Valpo football history.
Yeah.
You went 95 yards in the last 49 seconds with no timeouts. Amazing score, needed the 2-point conversion. And then after giving up a touchdown on the first possession, you came back on your possession, touchdown, you went for 2. And that celebration on the field was spectacular. It almost, I thought, carried over at Butler, who had been one of the better teams in the league throughout the year. And you got down again, I think 3 scores, and almost came back and won that game. And I think it showed the character of your team those final 2 weeks.
Yeah, we fell a little short at Butler. Obviously, we wanted to come away with that win, and that's a big rivalry game for us and one that we, you know, expect to win. And so it was disappointing, but I think that you saw the fight in the guys that week. You saw the fight in the guys the week before, certainly, and I think that you saw the improvement throughout the year, and we didn't, you know, end where we wanted to be, but certainly I think you could see the positive momentum heading into the offseason and feel that building as we go.
I think you did a great job with retention, which is not easy at our level.
Sure.
And that was very, very important, and that gives you kind of a step up because continuity is very tough in the mid-major football level, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, you challenge, you know, being in the Pioneer Football League and FCS college football in general. I think, you know, your best guys are going to have other opportunities to move on, and your guys that aren't quite playing are looking for those opportunities to play, and so they can go in any direction. And you know, people are coming after them, but you know, our guys made a commitment to each other, and a lot of those guys came back, and we're ready to go build something special.
You returned almost your entire defense from last year, and you even get a boost. I think early on, maybe your best defensive player was Max Samuel. He was injured. It allowed some other guys to step up, and now you'll have Max back with the group, and that linebacker group looks to be one of the best in the PFL.
Yeah, so you know, Max Samuel was a linebacker for us. He was a kid that had some experience a year before. You know, he gets sick and misses the back half of this back 2/3 of the season. That was a huge hit to us when it happened because of Max's overall ability and experience and the talent that he has. But being able to get him back this next season and the development that group had, I think, is very promising to be able to go out and kind of spearhead our defense as we move forward.
All right, last question for you. We flip over to the offensive side.
Yeah.
And the most important position is quarterback.
Sure.
And you got great play late in the season, I think, from Rowan Keefe. He kind of grew up. Yeah. He's back. but you also brought in a transfer who's going to give him his run for the money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you're always looking to better your program, and we weren't out like saying, hey, we have to have a transfer here or there or wherever. And but when you get a player that comes available and that you think can make your place better, and makes sense to the culture of your team, you want to go bring those guys in. We thought that Rowan came a long way last year from game 1 to where he was in game 12. 2 totally different players, really improved, did some great things, led the drive against Stetson. But we had the opportunity to go out and get Noah Ehrlich, who's a local kid. He's from Crown Point. He was the Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year, leading the Bulldogs, on a deep run in the playoffs his junior and senior year. And so he's coming in. Those guys, along with some of their other guys, will battle it out, and we're excited for that. I think it makes our team better, and we're looking forward to see what those guys and the rest of the team can do next fall.
We're very excited for Valpo football next season. Best of luck, Coach Waddle. Homecoming, September 26th against Butler, and we hope everybody turns out for what will be an epic football game against the Bulldogs.
Always good to go against Butler, a PFL team, a longtime rival, and another Indiana team, and should be a great atmosphere, and we're expecting to come away with the W.
Good luck to Coach Waddle and the Beacon football team. We'll come back. We'll talk a little Valpo women's basketball with Courtney Boyd. She's up when we come back after this time out on the Valpo Coaches Tour.
Go Valpo.
As beacons of Valpo, we are humble and curious servant leaders embarking on a journey of academic and spiritual awakening. We embrace opportunities for connection. We compel ourselves to always go beyond and lead with compassion. We explore knowledge and truth and find belonging. We offer our light. Valparaiso University.
Hear that big flavor buzz? That's our new honey barbecue sauce talking. Sweet, smoky, just enough attitude. Barbecue sauce laced with real honey and kicked up with smoky spices. Yes, your mouth is watering because this honey barbecue is flying the big flavor flag. Great on everything. Wings, tenders, burgers, fries, sandwiches. Grab something. Dunk it. You'll thank us later. New honey barbecue sauce. Here for a limited time. Only at Wings Etc.
Great to talk to another second-year head coach in Courtney Boyd after completing her first season. And Coach, I know you're excited about what's ahead.
Yes.
A lot of players back. You return one of the best freshmen in the league, and you get some players back who were injured a year ago
Right.
with a little experience and stability, and Macy Rhodes and Raven Ray Redmond. Let's talk about next year's squad.
I think for us, the most exciting thing is we know what we're getting. Last year, there was a lot of things that were out of our control, and so we've been able to prep and fill the voids of the things that we were missing. And so Macy Rhodes and Raven Ray Redmond, we're really excited about. They bring 2 completely different aspects of the game. Macy Rhodes is a shooter for us. She's going to be able to, play inside and outside, which is great. And then Raven Ray Redmond, her biggest thing is defense. She's fun to watch, and she's got a little explosiveness to her, and she's actually had time to develop a little bit on the offensive end. So we're really excited about those 2, including Alia von Schlegel, of course, and that freshman that returns, and she's got meaningful minutes from her freshman year, and she returns coming in with a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, having the year that we had as a whole. It had nothing to do with her and everything to do with where she's going, and so I think that the benefits for her is now she understands what she has to do, but also with a lot less pressure.
And that was maybe the most important part of the off-season, was retaining her,
That's
which is
it.
not as
Yes,
easy
that's
as it
exactly
used to
right.
be. It's
Right.
awfully difficult.
Yes, anymore they say that you've got to recruit your team first, your current team, and then you're going in, you're trying to find who needs to fill spots. So the fact that she looked at us in the face and said, "Coach, this is where I want to be. I trust in where we're going," that said a lot for where we're headed in the future.
And let's talk about some additions. Let's start with a freshman who's very highly touted, an all-state player from Illinois, Danny Gaudette. What can you tell us about her?
Danny's just a ball of energy. We could play her in the position that she is supposed to play. We could play her in a position that she's not suited to play, and we're going to get the same result. She's going to give us everything that we ask for. She's very coachable. She's very energetic. But the other thing is she knows how to win. She's coming off of a state championship. She's coming off of a handful of accolades, and I think that goes far for what we're trying to build and the direction we're headed. So her coming in as a freshman, that's a great addition to continue with our identity.
All right, you brought in, I think it's like 5 Division I transfers. Is there one or two in particular you think is going to come right in and should have a huge impact?
Yeah, I would like to think all of them, and that's a kind of a loaded question. But we've got 2 players coming from Spain. We've got a freshman coming in from Spain, so a little bit of a language barrier there, but not a basketball barrier. So we're really excited about that. And a counterpart of hers that's 6'4", coming from UTEP, and so they can speak their own language, but hopefully that basketball carries over to that competitiveness. Again, coming from successful programs. Maddie Vasicki is a player that can just shoot the lights out, and she gives us about 6 foot 6'1", and she's just a true pure shooter, competitive, and I feel like she's got that chip on her shoulder. And then Denza Allen is going to be a big piece of the puzzle for us. We get her as a freshman. She's a true 6'1". She's going to be a matchup nightmare, and I'm just excited about the things that she's done up to this point and the things that she hasn't been given, and so she's had to work for it, and I really think that puts us in a great spot.
Courtney, how about the schedule? You have not been afraid to challenge your team next year, right?
Yes, that's right. We've got moves to make, and I don't think you make those moves by being hesitant in the future of where you want to go and what you want to look like. I also think putting competition in front of your team is really important. So we open up with Michigan State at Michigan State, and our other P4 game, we've got Wisconsin coming to us.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited to be able to create an environment in the ARC where people want to be, that they know that there's going to be competitiveness and there's going to be excitement, and so hopefully that draws a little bit more, and we can hold our own in that game for sure.
Courtney, we look for big things from Valpo women's basketball next season. Best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll come back. We'll talk men's basketball with Roger Powell when our Valpo Coaches Tour continues. Live from Wings, etc. We're back in a moment.
A man, his tractor, and his family. These are the Upshaws. Though he goes by Shaw, which stands for skilled hands at work. From cutting hair and mowing grass to roasting marshmallows, he's got a grasp on what matters most. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a John Deere tractor and start telling yours.
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Gastonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
For your rookies, for your most improved, for your MVPs, they all work hard to achieve success. At Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute, we don't believe in winning at all costs. Protecting your athlete's health is too important. If a bone, muscle, or joint injury threatens to take your athlete out of the game, walk in to one of LBJI's orthopedic urgent care centers for direct to specialist care without a referral from your doctor and without the hefty cost of the ER. Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute wants your athlete to stay healthy, stay well, stay ahead.
Welcome back on the Valpo Coaches Tour. We are back with now the head basketball coach, the men's side, in Roger Powell, the Rev. Great to have you along. What a season it was a year ago. Yeah. What an incredible fun season it was. What made it so rewarding for you?
Oh, just the continual growth of our program and seeing these guys excel. And to be honest, the ARC, the student section, the fans are coming back. We had some awesome games. That was rewarding, and I think it's just a great momentum booster for next season.
It was that great stretch throughout late January through February. You won 6 out of 7. That included a win at Drake.
Yeah,
that's been a while since
that felt good. That felt good. Yeah,
you beat Bradley at home in kind of a raucous crowd. A game you played extremely well. Kind of carried over, getting a win in the tournament, almost a second win in the tournament, but the highest finish since Valpo joined the conference. And for the second straight year. You made some noise in the conference tournament as well. And I think what maybe feels so great is the retention, because the continuity in men's basketball today is almost impossible, and you were able to retain most of your players, which feels great.
It feels great. I mean, it was a credit to my staff. And to be honest, I told the new guys this year, we had our first team meeting yesterday, our first workout yesterday, and team meeting the day before. And I said, this is coming on the heels of a lot of effort. A lot of guys put in work, put in time to kind of keep building our program to the level where it's at. Now we have a strong culture. These kids committed to Valpo to come back and keep building it. Now we want to take that next step. And that's what gets me more excited than anything, is just, year one, year two, year three, keeping guys. Now, let's see what we can do. I'm really excited about it.
Right. Now we're going to do some real damage.
Yeah,
and I think it starts with, you had 4 freshmen who were big contributors for you. Obviously, 2 players in Kim Chaney and JT Pettigrew, who were 2 of the elite freshmen in the league.
Exactly, yeah.
And able to retain those 4 guys where nobody else in the league was able to do that, really. And now you can grow off that. But what you've also done, and for our viewers who are Valpo basketball fans, is you've added some really good pieces. Who do you want to touch on, the guys you've added?
We did, but I do want to go back to kind of doing some real damage here. One of the things that we've done is we've established grit and an identity. And I think that identity that we've established is part of the reason we're able to keep and retain some guys. And then going back to your last question, is the thing that made Valpo attractive to other players. We have a strong culture and an identity, and the guys that we brought in, from Ray John Roberts, one of the highest recruits we've gotten here in a while, freshman, that was at AZ Campus Prep, and Teron Garrett, who I think is going to be a sleeper, that came from Mineral area junior college. I mean, we've been able to really attract some talented guys, and now, we've gotten some transfers from the league.
Right.
Caillou from Bradley and Bruno Allison from Indiana State. So it's really cool to see our program get to another level of respect and a place where, guys want to be.
I think you surprised some people in the last couple of seasons. There will be no surprise with Valpo basketball. You'll get everybody's best game this year.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that. But it doesn't change anything from what we do. We just stick to our culture, stick to our day-to-day principles, pouring into our players, developing them, and then having grit. When you have that, you give yourself a chance to win any game you play.
Now, last question for you. How about the schedule next year? You'll challenge the guys?
We're going to challenge them. It's actually a little bit harder this year, but I think teams are respecting us. But we're really excited about the Purdue game. We'll be able to play at Purdue, which they're a storied program, and be able to take our guys there and play against them. That's going to be awesome. And then we get to go back to UNC Wilmington, who we had a really close game with them at home last year. So those are 2 challenging games, and then we're still figuring out some things within the rest of our schedule. But I'm excited. I want to challenge our team. I want to get prepared for conference and have our program keep being gritty and keep taking steps to success.
I think everybody's excited about the direction of Valpo men's basketball. Good luck, Coach Powell.
Thank you so much, Todd. Appreciate you.
The Rev, Roger Powell. We'll come back as our Valpo coaches tour continues with Valpo swimming coach Maggie Kramer. She's next. We're back in a moment.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Don't sweat the technique. Fresh, never frozen original dough made from 6 simple ingredients. Get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
As beacons of Valpo, we are humble and curious servant leaders embarking on a journey of academic and spiritual awakening. We embrace opportunities for connection. We compel ourselves to always go beyond and lead with compassion. We explore knowledge and truth and find belonging. We offer our light. Valparaiso University.
tour as the day rolls on. I'll remind everybody, 3:30 to 4 o'clock or 3:30 to 4:30 maybe, free scoops of ice cream at Brown's downtown, Valpo Velvet. And also after that, there'll be some free bowling for Valpo fans at Inman's from 5 until 7 o'clock tonight. We welcome in Maggie Kramer, now in her 7th year. The years have flown by. The Valpo grad.
Yes.
You came back, you had stints, I think, at St. Louis and at Seattle.
Correct.
You decided to come back to your alma mater and run the Valpo swimming program, which had struggles at that time. And I commend you. You've turned this program around. I think nothing more evident than what happened this past season. It was a great year on both the men and women's side.
Right. Thank you.
Let's talk about what took place this past season and how you've been able to kind of turn around this program.
Yeah, it was a great season this year. You know, we had a really strong senior class. You know, and we also had a lot of great, you know, returners and freshmen, and they made a huge impact. They worked really hard. They had great attitudes, and were able to get winning records for both men and women, and break 30 school records, and we had a lot of success.
7-3 on the men's side. There were many seasons before you arrived where Valpo won no dual meets.
Right.
So obviously that was the goal to begin with. Start getting some wins on the men's side. I think maybe it started with Jackson Usman, who had an outstanding season for you. Scored in the national tournament, which had been a long time. You had a relay team score as well.
Yeah. We had 5 gentlemen that qualified for the NIC meet, and you know, Jackson made finals in the 400 IM and scored, and then our 800 free relay, those 4 gentlemen also scored in that. So that was a big moment for our program.
You'd mentioned the women also over 500, I think 6 and 4 in dual meets.
Yes.
That was the first time in over 30 years. What has been the key to retaining and getting better swimmers on the women's side?
I mean, I think team culture is a big thing for us. You know, we try to make it, you know, a fun but supportive environment, and they've been improving every year, and the teammates, you know, look out for each other and really care about each other, and that's really helped with the retention of everyone, and also just like their improvement from year to year, and that's attracted better recruits each year.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
That has helped recruiting.
Yes, of course.
And how do things look for the upcoming season?
We have some really good freshmen that we've signed. Some are faster than some of our school records, and you know, are positioned to make finals and score at our conference meet. So, I mean, we did lose a big senior class with a lot of key players in there, but you know, we also have a lot of freshmen coming in, and I'm excited for the future of our program.
We wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maggie Kramer, Valpo Director of Swimming on both the men's and the women's side. We'll talk Valpo cross country and track coming up in a moment. Vincent Walker joins us as our Valpo Coaches Tour rolls on in just a moment. Great.
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Don't sweat the technique. Fresh, never frozen original dough made from 6 simple ingredients. Get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Hear that big flavor buzz? That's our new honey barbecue sauce talking. Sweet, smoky, just enough attitude. Barbecue sauce laced with real honey and kicked up with smoky spices. Yes, your mouth is watering because this honey barbecue is flying the big flavor flag. Great on everything. Wings, tenders, burgers, fries, sandwiches. Grab something. Dunk it. You'll thank us later. New honey barbecue sauce. Here for a limited time. Only at Wings Etc.
Welcome back on our Valpo Coaches Bus Tour as we continue on with our chat with Valpo head coaches, and we move on to track and field and to cross country.
Yep.
And Vincent Walker runs both the men's and the women's program. Basically a four-team coach.
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. And even when you include indoor track as well, I mean, we got 3 seasons, 2 genders, so really 6 sports. It's pretty crazy.
One thing you've done, we just talked to Maggie about it, very similar, is much improvement from year to year, and 4 years now at Valpo, And let's talk about what has been the key to the improvement in Valpo track and cross country.
You know, honestly, I think a big part of that shift has been mindset of our culture, right? Our sport gets very muddy in the sense that it gets seen as an individual sport, it gets seen as a team sport, and we've really started to flip the script of the idea that we're running for something bigger than ourselves. We're competing for something bigger than ourselves, and you know, when you shift the mindset to that, success comes. Also, I think people ask me that all the time, and they think we're doing some sort of big secret sauce here, right? And it's honestly just consistent training, putting our head down every day, and knowing that sometimes Division I gets that stigma of being a job, and this isn't a 9 to 5, right? We have to have fun, we have to joke, we have to laugh, and that's been a huge part of our culture change.
Let's touch on some of the individuals who really performed well for you a year ago, starting with Carson Hollander.
Yep. Yeah, Carson's been awesome. You know, I get so many people that say like, oh, like, what's Carson doing? How's he doing? Or I want to run just as fast as Carson, especially some of the freshmen that come in and see the stuff he's doing. And you know what you don't realize is he's running 95 miles a week. Like, that guy is living and breathing running, and he's a very dedicated young man. His sophomore year, he ended up having a really tough conference championship, and that stuck with him all summer. He kept saying, like, Coach, next time I come here in a conference championship, I'm going to be one of the best guys in Missouri Valley. And he thought about that all summer long and ended up being, you know, all conference in that fall. So. All
right, I think one of the great stories in all of Valpo Athletics this past year was Brian Spinagle.
Yeah, Spinagle. Yeah.
Who I think started as a runner.
Yeah.
And tell us about his transformation.
So that was kind of a crazy story in itself. So when I first came to Valpo, he was actually a freshman that was already recruited. He was coming from Delaware. And I remember like having this phone call with him, like, hey, I'm the new coach. Like, I'm excited to have you. What kind of questions for me? And we were talking about, you know, just like equipment and stuff like that. And the more I'm talking to him, I'm like, I don't know if this guy's a distance runner, right? You know, and so he came here and he had a great fall, but just things weren't necessarily clicking. You know, the transition to 8K is really tough on the men's side. And you know, we were just at practice one day and he saw some of our multis out there chucking javelins, and he was like, oh, I wonder if I can do this. He had a baseball background. He played as a catcher for a long time, and he went out there and hucked a spear, and we were like, hey, like this might be something, right? So he ended up transitioning into doing like the multi. So we did the heptathlon indoor and the decathlon outdoor for about 2 years. And that first year was just learning so many events he's never done before. And then for him to come and score points in the deck and be our like third all time or maybe fourth all time in the decathlon was huge. But that beat up his body a lot, and he kind of had some Achilles issues. And he was like, I think like the jab's the thing I'm gravitating towards the most. And I think I have a shot of making the national meet and winning the conference title. And we went all in on that this year, and he might be the only guy, and I hate to say just MVC, but maybe even the NCAA to have run a 10K in the fall for our regional to then be a conference champion. So, I mean, he is an incredible story and an incredible young man.
All right, before we run out, it is an incredible story. Before we run out of time, let's we don't want to slight the women.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think Shantae Dixon had a great season for you.
Right? Phenomenal, you know, and she came in as a transfer from UTSA, and I remember when she got here, like, she's coming from Texas, she's originally from South Africa, to come here in January and have to work out outside was not the transition I think she was hoping it would be. And I kept telling her, like, hey, relax, like, trust me, it's part of this training process. You're learning a new area, a new system of training. And, you know, to her credit, she trusted me, and, you know, this year was a huge result for her. I mean, she was running out of her mind and now is one of the best women in the conference. So I can't speak highly enough of her dedication and just faith in me. It was a whole different training system than she's used to, but paid off well for her.
Well, overall, Vincent, you're commended for all the work you do for Valpo University, all the different, the two genders, and the different indoor and outdoor and track and field and cross country, and continued growth to Valpo track and cross country.
It's been a lot of fun. We appreciate it.
The head coach, Vincent Walker. More of our Valpo Coaches Tour continues. Next with softball coach Mike Armitage. He's next from Wings, etc. We're back in a moment.
Awesome.
Great.
Don't sweat the technique. Fresh, never frozen original dough made from 6 simple ingredients. Get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
A man, his tractor, and his family. These are the Upshaws. Though he goes by Shaw, which stands for skilled hands at work. From cutting hair and mowing grass to roasting marshmallows, he's got a grasp on what matters most. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a John Deere tractor and start telling yours.
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Castonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
His bus tour as we roll out now with the head softball coach, Mike Armitage, second year at Valpo. I think first let's commend you for kind of turning around. You came in 2 years ago after great success at Minnesota State Moorhead, and you decided, all right, we're going to change the culture a little bit. We're going to keep these girls responsible. We're going to bring some continuity. And I think immediately we felt an impact in your first year a season ago.
Well, yeah, I would have to shift that credit right to the kids, though, because they had been through some things where it was one coach after another for a little bit. So they did a great job accepting that, and it's one thing to come in and start preaching that stuff, but if you don't have the people that are going to accept it, follow it, kind of live it and breathe it, then you're going to be in some trouble again. So I would immediately pass that credit to our kids, and I'm very thankful that we had the groups that we did have that were willing enough to say, whatever young kids we have coming in, whatever's going to make us the best team, that's what we want to go with. So credit to them. It was really a pleasure to coach them.
You won 22 games a year ago. I think honestly, you were really hindered by one big injury, in my mind. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you lost one of the best young pitchers in the league before the season ever started a year ago in Aaron Metz. And fortunately, you'll have her back this upcoming season. Because the hitting was there a year ago. The hitting numbers almost across the board went up from 2024 to 2025. And I think a big season is upon us, but you had to overcome that a year ago, and that wasn't that easy.
Yeah, I think that's more of a challenge of trying to simplify some things. I think all coaches, all players, to a degree, they take our sport and they try and break it down almost too much sometimes, instead of just going to the bare bones of things and keeping things simple. So we just kind of prided ourselves on three things, and that was real simple since Little League. Keep your eyes on it, and then choose a good pitch to swing at. And then when you're choosing that pitch and you're keeping your eyes on it, make sure you're taking a good path with the barrel to it. So the good news about those three things is they're all pre-contact. So they are three things we can do something about. It's not the umpire, it's not the pitcher, it's us. So bottom line, those three things were what we targeted, and again, to our kids' credit, they bought into it as a team, and that's why you saw the rise in numbers.
We really need to talk about Madison Verasco.
Yeah.
She took her game up to even a different level after the great freshman season, which she was one of the best freshmen in the league, to sophomore year, in which she drove the ball a little bit more. She was great behind the plate, and it has to feel good to know that she's locked in on Valpo softball. And it's retention in any sport today is not that easy, but you had to kind of retain her after her freshman year, and now same thing after her sophomore year. And she's ready to become one of the best players in the league in her junior season.
I would agree with that. She's an incredible talent. I know sometimes as a coach you like to try and shift, mold, do whatever you can to make a kid better. I think she's one of those special talents that you just kind of let her do her thing a little bit more. So I want to kind of stay out of her way a little bit so she can become the player she can. But each year, if she continues to progress the way she did from freshman to sophomore, I think you're right. Maybe even next year, but certainly by the time she's a senior, I think she's going to be the best catcher in conference.
All right, now let's talk about replacing. Before we go, we got to replace some very good players.
Sure.
Kim Rodas was a 4-year starter and a kind of a model Valpo student athlete. The two gals you obviously brought from Minnesota State Moorhead had 2 great years at Valpo. How do you replace these players?
Well, I think one thing we can do is we can get a little bit more athletic. I think you're correct on what you said about all 3 of those players. But at the same point, we were not exactly mobile, I would say, on defense. So that's going to help us. I think we're going to have a whole new infield on the dirt, or infield, next year with our new kids coming in. So that's going to be an experiment itself. But the one thing we will have that we didn't have in the last 2 years is some more athleticism. So we'll have that to work with. But I think the other part of that too is I know we have to replace them, but I don't know if it's ever really replacing. We do get different, and we'll figure out a way how good we can get that difference in order to look at, did we replace them well enough, or we still have to do some looking?
All right, before we go, we got to touch on the Notre Dame game. Okay. What a thrilling game. It's rare. Valpo plays Notre Dame in a lot of sports. It is not easy to get wins, and we understand why, the landscape of college athletics today, but what an incredible finish. That great bullet from Sophia Lightson to the plate, and the great tag by Verastel, and the celebration that ensued, a real highlight moment for Valpo Athletics this past season. One of the great moments in Valpo Athletics this past season.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, going through that, sometimes you've seen this situation before, and until that last out's made, you're like, okay, when is it coming? When's the moment coming that's going to make or break whether we actually do this or not? Honestly, not that we don't have confidence in all of our outfielders, but I know in thinking about that last hitter that was up before she actually hit it to right field, I'm thinking, if there's a ground ball go through, please go to right field, because obviously it's something you work on. But I was really excited for Soph. When I saw her pick it up clean, I had a real good feeling that we were going to win that ball game, because now you're just playing catch. We make a throw, we make a catch, we make a tag, and we got to win. But I was really happy for Soph. Soph grew up about 6 miles away from where I grew up, so I knew her family a little bit, and I know that's a moment that she's going to remember for a long time. And we had, actually, earlier in that game, we had another play, too, that at the end of that game when we were talking in the huddle, Kaya Garnica, she had a diving play at third and threw from her knees to get the girl out at first. I mean, there were some plays in there that I'm like, guys, you're going to remember the win, but you're also going to remember what it took to get the win a lot more too, So, and actually, Kim Rodas was one that knocked in a couple runs off of a bunt. I was just trying to lay down a bunt, and the girl ends up, you get second and third with 2 outs or whatever, and take a shot at getting 2, and it ends up that the girl throws it down the right field line where we score 2 runs on it. So, capitalizing on some other people's mistakes, I thought was a key in our season altogether, but certainly a big part of that. And then following through with some things we work on every day with that throw from right field was a big play in that game.
Mike, I can say on behalf of all Valpo fans, it's great to have you running our softball program.
Thank you.
And very excited for the future of Valpo softball.
Great, I am too.
The great Mike Armitage. More coming up on our Valpo Coaches Tour. We'll visit next with the head baseball coach, Brian Schmack. He's next. We're back in a moment from Wings, Etc.
At ESPN Valpo Productions, we pride ourselves on the content we create and the stories we tell through the team we have built. Our crew is home to people for any milestone in their career. Come and learn the various facets of live production as a member of an award-winning team. Whether you are a seasoned professional looking to change your focus or a student learning broadcasting for the very first time, we offer you an environment that will allow you to learn and thrive. At ESPN Valpo Productions, we are dedicated to the quality of our shows and the experiences we create. We mold relationships to help build our network and invest in our future. ESPN Valpo Productions. It takes a team to make a show.
Etc. here on the Valpo Coaches Bus Tour. Afternoon, as we move now to the afternoon, we welcome in one of the more veteran coaches on the Valpo staff. Brian Schmack, head baseball coach, over 600 games, I think now, in a Valpo uniform, and kind of going through the landscape of the current day college athletics. Not an easy tour. Not an easy thing to do in Valpo baseball in the always tough Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, things have changed so much since we've started, right? From the technology piece to now the transfer portal piece and just roster configure. You used to come in and you have freshmen, they stay for 4 years, maybe 5 if they get hurt, and everything is great. But now there's 1-2 year rentals, and you got to adjust to it. So it's been a little bit difficult, but another challenge in our way.
You did bring in several transfers a year ago, but the one kind of steady piece for half a decade was Connor Lockwood. We talked Valpo baseball at this time. We've got to touch on Connor Lockwood. It's sad to see him go, but it's great to see how he went out as a Valpo athlete and kind of almost a throwback, 5 years in your program and being one of the best pitchers in the league for really throughout his entire career.
Yeah, tremendously respected in the league, and he's, what I said before, he's kind of what college baseball and college athletics should be. Right, the guy who stays for the full time, he gets to know the community, he gets to know the people on the team, the coaching staff, everybody loves him, and then to see him go out like he did, it was awesome because you just feel like he really deserved it and did it the right way.
And he became a good recruiter for your program. too.
He
right?
did, yeah.
He brought in a buddy and he brought in a brother.
Yeah,
right?
yes and no. Only one of two, though, so he's still got that knock against him. The other one went to a different school, but he's been great. And listen, he's a great representation of the program and people in his family. And his younger brother said, I want to do what he's doing, and it was awesome. And his brother's going to be a great player as well.
Yeah, Cole got injured last year, but next year he'll be a fixture in your lineup.
Absolutely, yep. He's going out and he's playing right now, so he's back healthy. So we just told him to get reps and come in and be a guy. Be a guy that's a young leader, but still a leader because he's been here before.
Let's touch on some guys who had good seasons for you, and maybe we expect even more next year. Some guys you were able to retain. I thought Nick Boffa, let's start with a pitcher, who really came on last year and was very, very good throughout most of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, and again, a guy who does things the right way. His freshman year, he comes in, he pitches in midweek games, throws against Notre Dame, throws against some of those better programs, and he had the fourth inning curse, right? He came out and he throws 3 scoreless, and then the fourth inning he gets beat up, right? But that's the learning process and the development process, and all of a sudden he comes in as a sophomore, and now he's pitching on the weekends, and he had do some of our better games all year, right? So he's doing it the right way. He's learning about how to pitch and how to play and how to be a Division I athlete, and we're happy that he's coming back and hopefully bolstering the weekend rotation.
Down the stretch, one of your best hitters was a transfer, Louis Kegeris, who kind of was in and out of the lineup some, and then he got kind of locked in mid-conference, and by the end of the year was smacking the baseball. And what's maybe most great about it is he's coming back next year.
Yeah, and he was a kid who he got hurt over the summer right before he got to campus. He did not swing the bat one time in the fall. So you really, as a transfer, have no idea what he's going to do. So all of a sudden he comes in, over break he comes back, he starts swinging, he starts hitting a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's just a fixture in the lineup, and he takes a hold of that opportunity and he runs, and he does really, really well, and obviously culminated by the 6-for-6 day towards the end of the year, and we're looking forward to having him back.
Now, how about recruiting? How have things gone?
Well, it's good, and like I said, it's changed. Summers, this is an off day for us, right? Because transfer portal opens up a couple days ago, and we need 12 guys, right, for this upcoming year, which is insane because you're supposed to be relaxing and focusing on the 27s and 28s, but now you need all these guys for next year, and it's common. It's not immune to us. I mean, it's every program's going through it, so that's what we got to do.
And I think baseball is different than almost any other sport where you can find players on so many different levels. Yeah, you can get, like Gavin Bennett came from Illinois, wasn't playing much, so he got an opportunity. But really, you look at the Missouri Valley Conference, and there's so many players who've come from the lower level.
Oh, yeah.
And being able to find those players, how do you go through that?
Word of mouth is kind of it. You take advice from people that you really trust. I mean, obviously Eli Riley was a guy who he had 200 plus innings or 200 plus games of college baseball plus all the summer stuff, and he came in and he caught every single game for us. And like I said, an NAI kid who's got a ton of experience, and he really does well at our level. So we'll take more of those for sure.
All right, good luck, Ryan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The head baseball coach, Brian Schmack. As we continue from Wings Etc. in just a moment, we'll talk women's soccer with Bree Barnes. That's next from Wings Etc. in a moment.
Thanks, Todd.
As beacons of Valpo, we are humble and curious servant leaders embarking on a journey of academic and spiritual awakening. We embrace opportunities for connection. We compel ourselves to always go beyond and lead with compassion. We explore knowledge and truth and find belonging. We offer our light. Valparaiso University.
Hear that big flavor buzz? That's our new honey barbecue sauce talking. Sweet, smoky, just enough attitude. Barbecue sauce laced with real honey and kicked up with smoky spices. Yes, your mouth is watering because this honey barbecue is flying the big flavor flag. Great on everything. Wings, tenders, burgers, fries, sandwiches. Grab something. Dunk it. You'll thank us later. New honey barbecue sauce here for a limited time only at Wings Etc.
All right, we switch over to women's soccer as we continue here on the Valpo Coaches bus tour, and we are here at Wings Etc. And great to chat with Bree Barnes, who's been on staff now for 5 years. She came in at the right time, I think. A lot of fun those first few years, right?
For sure.
And kind of rebuilding. Let's talk about why I love women's soccer at Valpo. And I've touched on this, and I've talked to Coach Maravich about this many times, and I'm kind of open on it, is you've been able to recruit the right people, just great kids, true student athletes who've really excelled in the classroom. And Valpo women's soccer, especially in those halcyon days, 2022, 2023, that team played with such joy. And then you had to basically remold the entire roster almost.
Yeah.
And it's been 2 years of playing a lot of very young women's soccer players.
Yep.
And I think the payoff comes next year. What do you think?
I agree, Todd. I agree. That's what we're hoping for. Like you said, we've had my first 3 years here were amazing from a results standpoint, from just who those players were, who those girls were. Loved every second of being their coach. And then, they moved on to the next stage of their life, and we had to rebuild, so to speak. And I think we've got right people in place, and we've had 2 tougher years as far as results go, but you can't discount just the experience that these players have gotten and the minutes they've been able to log. And now those people are going to be sophomores and juniors and a good group of seniors to go with that, and we're really excited.
I think as I looked out on the pitch in many of those broadcasts last year, there was a lot of times where you had 9 or 10 freshmen, sophomore on the field at all times. You've been able to retain most of them.
Yep.
And I think you start with Kira Desiderio, who in one season became one of the most exciting players in Valpo soccer history in just 1 year.
Yeah.
And it's great to have her back.
Yeah, no, keeping Key around was huge for us, and we're blessed that she's from the region. She wants to be close to her family, and so that worked in our favor for sure. But yeah, she's an exciting player. The things that she's able to do are just a little bit different than what we've had in the past, and even other people in our conference. I mean, she won the Freshman of the Year, so obviously other coaches recognize her gifts and abilities, but we also have a lot of other exciting freshmen that we kind of are looking to pair her with. So.
All right, we can touch on a few of
sure,
those.
Sure.
I think we probably should talk about Martha Goddard, who came up from overseas.
Yep.
And you've had success recruiting England in the past, and I think Martha Goddard is somebody who could have a huge sophomore season.
Yeah, and the chemistry the two of them have with each other is really special. They work really well with one another. They're really good friends off the field as well. And Martha had a really good freshman year. Key, was able to just score some more goals and was a little flashier, but the two of them together contributed so much to our team. And now moving into sophomore year, we're really looking forward to what they're going to be able to do. They had a good spring with each other, and we're excited.
I was going to ask you about the spring. Overall thoughts on where the team is heading into next season?
Yeah, lots of positives. I think we started with a direction we wanted to go, kind of reestablishing some of those foundational things that we wanted to hit, and the girls bought in, and we were able to track that progress all throughout the spring. We had some good results. Ended with a bit of a bang with our 2-2 draw against DePaul. It was a back and forth game. Some blood, sweat, and tears literally were on the field that day, but it was a good way to end a very positive spring.
I think we're all looking forward to a great fall season for Valpo women's soccer. Good luck, Bree.
Thank you so much.
Assistant coach Bree Barnes. We'll talk with Valpo head golf coach on the men's side, Dave Gring. He's next as we continue on the Valpo Coaches Bus Tour show from Wings, etc. We're back in a moment.
A man, his tractor, and his family. These are the Upshaws. Though he goes by Shaw, which stands for skilled hands at work. From cutting hair and mowing grass to roasting marshmallows, he's got a grasp on what matters most. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a John Deere tractor and start telling yours.
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Castonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
For your rookies, for your most improved, for your MVPs, they all work hard to achieve success. At Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute, we don't believe in winning at all costs. Protecting your athlete's health is too important. If a bone, muscle, or joint injury threatens to take your athlete out of the game, walk in to one of LBJI's orthopedic urgent care centers for direct to specialist care without a referral from your doctor and without the hefty cost of the ER. Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute wants your athlete to stay healthy, stay well, stay ahead.
volleyball. I want to talk about my love for Valpo women's soccer, equal love for Valpo women's volleyball, and Nick Polite, who is, I think it's been about a decade now, the Valpo volleyball coaching staff, is able to join us here at Wings Etc. today. And Nick, let's start with what an incredible season it was in 2025.
I mean, it was a great season. We talk about memories and all that kind of stuff, but man, like there was just so many little things that happened to get us where we were. Going to play against Northwestern and showing how strong the team could be, that was a big boost for us. And then just getting into conference and hitting that hard stretch where we're on the road back to back, and the girls did a great job at a couple different weekends, and we were pulling out 5-set wins. It was a fun season to be able to get in and be able to host the conference tournament first round.
That stretch where you almost beat Northwestern, and then you went to UIC, who looked to be one of the better teams in the league, and you get those wins and beat Drake early on. I mean, it was like suddenly, all right, we're in contention here to a top 2 seed, which was so important. That was kind of what we tracked throughout the course of the season. But I think one thing that took place was the overall depth of your team was key. You had one of the top liberos in the country in Emma Hickey, and we'll talk to her in a moment. But so good defensively, a Valpo volleyball tradition, but even better at the net than you'd been in years. And a lot of that great sophomore class that was so good for you offensively. Let's start with Emma Hickey. I think it's a great place to start. It's a shame she has to move on. Yeah. She's graduated. But what a pleasure she has been to watch, and I'm sure to coach for 4 years.
I mean, I've known Emma forever. Like, just seeing her around the area. Her family's been a great volleyball people in the area. She just has such a high IQ on and off the floor. Like, it just, and you could tell it when she played. Like, she's reading really well. She's never been flashy, but man, did she find the ball, and she was really good. Like, she was a good, steady, consistent for the team. She's gonna be hard to replace. We got a lot of really good kids coming in that can hope for that spot. But yeah, she's gonna be tough to replace.
There's something in that Valpo libero position. Where do things stand going into next season? What is the? I'm sure there's been many discussions here. Where do things sit right now? You're still 3 months away from the season, but at the libero position, because that's the big question mark coming into next year.
We have a freshman libero coming in from Indianapolis, Riley Baumgartner. Superb, coming from a very high-level club. But we also have 3 liberos on roster that are they were fighting for it all spring. They did a great job over spring tournaments. So it's going to be a battle for that spot, which is really exciting.
The one constant, or maybe 2 constants we know up front, I think you got to start with Ava Hellman. With what a phenomenal, she had a great freshman year, but then even as a sophomore took it to a new level. First team all-conference player as a sophomore in the Missouri Valley Conference, says something. But she has become a true force on that right side.
Yeah, I mean, Ava, she's getting better at blocking, which makes her more scary, and hitting. As long as she's on, man, she's going to find some kills, and she's doing a much better job on the court, mixing up her shots and making herself available. So it's really exciting to see what she's going to do this year.
I think one thing that was so important was you were an improved blocking team a year ago, and a lot of that goes to Jess Pickett, and you'll have her back next season.
Yep. No, really excited because we've been blocking so well, and we spend a lot of time on defense and blocking. So I'm glad it's coming through on the blocking. And yeah, Jess has been amazing. She just does a good job. She's getting even better at reading, just taking up good area and taking away some shots and helping us dig balls as well.
All right, one thing that's going to be great next season: the popcorn tournament returns. And this popcorn classic. I look at the teams there. This may be the best class of teams to ever be at a popcorn classic tournament.
Oh, for sure. We're excited. The new trend is we do 3 games over 3 days, and so now we're doing Oakland on Friday, Cincinnati on Saturday, and Michigan on Sunday, and that is going to be tough, but it is going to be a very fun weekend.
I think challenging your team in the non-conference, you did a little more of that last year, maybe even a little more this upcoming season.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. I think that's what's most important for us is getting some more challenging teams to get us ready for that top of the valley, beating those so we can meet those teams like you and I and Drake and really compete hard with them.
Hopefully another great season ahead for Valpo Volleyball. Best of luck. Thanks, Nick, for coming out.
Thank you.
Nick Polite, longtime Valpo assistant volleyball coach. Now we'll talk with Dave Green in a moment as we continue from Wings, etc. in just 1 minute.
My bad.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill. There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Hear that big flavor buzz? That's our new honey barbecue sauce talking. Sweet, smoky, just enough attitude. Barbecue sauce laced with real honey and kicked up with smoky spices. Yes, your mouth is watering because this honey barbecue is flying the big flavor flag. Great on everything. Wings, tenders, burgers, fries, sandwiches. Grab something. Dunk it. You'll thank us later. New honey barbecue sauce. Here for a limited time. Only at Wings, etc.
Welcome back to Wings, etc. Todd Ickow, and joined now by one of the more veteran and more successful Valpo coaches. Dave Green has been in charge of men's golf for, I think, 15 years now.
Yep.
And has had tremendous success. And he's been able to kind of overcome a difficult landscape in which, as we've touched on, mid-major athletics get eaten up by the high majors in so many different ways. But Dave, you've had great success throughout the course of your tenure at Valpo. What has been the biggest key?
It's always the players. I mean, it's the players. We've been very blessed from my first year to even this past year. Just tremendous players, very talented in the classroom, very talented on the golf course. Diverse, different countries, different parts of our country. So that's the pleasure. It's just a great group of guys.
Your arc is kind of similar to women's soccer. You had great run with superstar players in the early part of this century, in the early part of this decade, I should say, and we'll touch on them in a moment. And then you kind of had to rebuild after they graduated, and it's been a little bit bumpy, but now you're kind of set to turn the corner with a lot of retention going forward.
Yeah, we are very blessed. Just graduated one senior this past year, and so we returned the rest of the team. So that bodes very well. We finished the season strong, and and with momentum coming into the summer, which will certainly carry forth into the fall. So just really looking forward to that part of it.
All right, let's touch on the great success. And you had two kind of program-defining players together who are now seeing success post-Valpo University. And let's start with Caleb Van Aragon, a multiple Missouri Valley Conference Golfer of the Year, who has had a kind of seamless transition to professional golf and had a very good season a year ago on the Korn Ferry Tour. This year he's been spectacular. And you and I touched on this before we ever got on the air, that one of our favorite things to do is every Thursday afternoon, see how Caleb's doing on the Korn Ferry Tour. And it has been an unbelievable year. He's had 8 top 20 finishes in 12 events, and he's got a chance. We don't want to jinx anything to play on the PGA Tour next year.
He does. I definitely want to say, Todd, again, him being a part of our program was still, going back to the years, my earlier years, those great players, him being impressed with our program, the development of our program, the trajectory of our program, and that brought a player like him on, Anthony Delisani, another one, two of the bigger names, but again, the great history with the earlier players too, and the allure with the team, and so forth. But yeah, Caleb, very proud of him. Again, his second year on the Korn Ferry. He's made 11 out of 12 cuts, this year, which is tremendous, and making a paycheck basically each week. So he still has a big portion of the season ahead of him, and is really poised to hopefully have a great finish to this season and trajectory onto the tour.
Yeah, I think if he finishes in the top 20 in the
Yes.
Corn Ferry Tour, he's got a pretty good chance of getting a PGA card, and he's there right now. So we're not just coming up with something that's outrageous. There's a good chance he'll be on the PGA Tour next
Well,
year.
just it was incredibly disciplined player, very smart individual, and it was very coachable. But just a great talent, and he's really has developed his talent.
You'd mentioned Anthony Delasante, and he's not too far behind.
Correct.
mean, he may be a year away from being a regular on the Corn Ferry Tour, right?
Correct. Yeah, he's doing Monday qualifiers. He's going to play the Dakotas Tour this summer. And again, every player, it's a different trajectory, a different path, for each player. And he's again very talented and very confident player. So he's got many good years and good tournaments in front of him.
All right,
certainly.
let's touch on the guys who are here now and had decent seasons, and you expect more from next year. I think starting with Ryan Somerville.
Yeah, so Ryan, Canadian, back for his final year. Played for us last year. Was a transfer, and it was our most valuable player last year. So very excited for Ryan. He has a very ambitious and productive schedule this summer, so he'll come into the fall season real sharp. Adam Elliere has been so steady for us in all 3 years that he's played for us. Elliott Lee, again, same class, so we'll have 3 seniors next year with a lot of great experience. And then even someone like Rob Politza, who now will be an upperclassman, a junior, was our most improved player last year. Finished the season very, very well, narrowly missed all conference. So we're really excited about that core, coming back next year.
With Caleb's success and Anthony's success, has that helped recruiting going forward?
Absolutely. I even whether it's fellow coaches, competitive coaches, asking how those guys are doing or knowing how those guys are doing, and then just these players. I mean, they're playing amongst themselves and with each other and so forth. So yeah, there's it helps us tremendously. It really does, and shows what our program can do in developing players. And even outside of those two, I've had 6 other players in past years that pursued the professional golf career right out of college. So it's not just those 2 guys. We've had other guys also.
All right, Dave, we congratulate you on 15 great years as Valpo men's golf coach, and we look forward to what we're going to see that step up next season from Valpo men's golf.
That's right.
Congrats, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Longtime head coach with great success, Dave Gring with Valpo men's golf. We're winding things down. Our 11th coach of this morning and afternoon is coming up in just a moment. He's Valpo's newest coach, James Gleghorn, to talk women's tennis. That's next as we continue from Wings, Etc. in just one moment.
For your rookies, for your most improved, for your MVPs, they all work hard to achieve success. At Lakeshore Bone & Joint Institute, we don't believe in winning at all costs. Protecting your athlete's health is too important. If a bone, muscle, or joint injury threatens to take your athlete out of the game, walk in to one of LBJI's orthopedic urgent care centers for direct to specialist care without a referral from your doctor and without the hefty cost of the ER. Lakeshore Bone & Joint Institute wants your athlete to stay healthy, stay well, stay ahead.
A man, his tractor, and his family. These are the Upshaws. Though he goes by Shaw, which stands for skilled hands at work. From cutting hair and mowing grass to roasting marshmallows, he's got a grasp on what matters most. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a John Deere tractor and start telling yours.
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Gastonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
All right, our final coach of the day. We will talk to Athletic Director Laurel Hosmer coming up, but before that, I said our newest coach, and I think James Gleghorn has been on the job for like a week or something like that, yes. It seems like. You've had great success, most recently at Indiana Wesleyan, where you coach a conference championship team. And how did you decide to make the decision to come here to Valpo?
Sure. So, coaching at Indiana Wesleyan was my alma mater, so it was a really exciting time to get invited to coach there, and I coached there for 4 years, and it really was a time for my wife and I to look to move on, and really for us it was like, where would we want to go, where we could do maybe one more tour, get 10 years in, retire. And we were looking to go back to the South, where you can play tennis outdoors year-round and those kind of things. There was only one school I was looking at that was north, and that was Valpo. And I said, if that job ever opened up, I'd really be interested in Valpo. It's a great opportunity. It's a fantastic school, similar values to what we had at Indiana Wesleyan. And on top of that, it was just a sleeping giant, in my opinion. We just have a great opportunity here to really grow the program.
I think Bob Modesto did a good job growing the program. Assuming you knew Bob previously. Did you talk to him before taking the job?
I didn't. We had played against Valpo in the last couple of years. I saw his kids. I saw the way he coached, and that was part of what interested me, just is seeing the relationship that Bob had with the school and the kids. It really offered an opportunity. I'm like, I think this is a place I'd really love.
Okay, you mentioned that there were some similar values, and that attracted you. Maybe touch on that.
Sure. So, if you look at the, first of all, like the GPA of the student athlete, we've had academic All-Americans, we had the CSC and the Didactronic Regional. I had 45 of them in the last 4 years. I think the team GPA for the women's tennis team is like a 3.9, and those kind of things. And then just the schools itself, just the student athletes that we're going to recruit here, they're going to have great quality kids. You're going to have kids that aren't going to create issues, they're not going to create problems, and you're going to have just an environment that not only can you ring the bell a lot, but you're going to have kids that are going to be super successful off the court, and they're going to be super successful in life. And those are the kind of kids that I want to continue to recruit here.
All right, you've been on the job for a week. How much do you know about the girls?
So, I think this is actually hour 14 on the job.
But you knew, you kind of
knew. I started, I had a Zoom call right after they made the announcement with all the girls on it, and that was great. And now I'm going and I'm meeting with them one-on-one on a Zoom call to really get to learn to know them. What are the things that they really did like about the program? What are some things that they might want to see differently? And then it just gives them an opportunity. This is my coaching philosophy. These are the things that we're going to do. I think there's just, anytime there's something new, most of the time there's an excitement. And I think that's what the girls are experiencing, the women are experiencing, It's just the opportunity to do some new things, to see some things. I've been blessed. I've gotten to work with a player that was number 2 in the world in doubles, a long time ago, and worked with D1 athletes that were all Americans, and so to be able to bring those different experiences, I've had just incredible feedback from the women. I'm really excited to get to work with them.
James, you seem like a great fit. Welcome to Valpo.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
James Gleghorn, the new women's tennis coach at Valpo University. One final interview is coming up. We'll talk to the athletic director of Valpo University. Laurel Hosmer is next. We continue from Wings, etc. in just a moment.
Of academic and spiritual awakening. We embrace opportunities for connection. We compel ourselves to always go beyond and lead with compassion. We explore knowledge and truth and find belonging. We offer our light. Valparaiso University.
Hear that big flavor buzz? That's our new honey barbecue sauce talking. Sweet, smoky, just enough attitude. Barbecue sauce laced with real honey and kicked up with smoky spices. Yes, your mouth is watering because this honey barbecue is flying the big flavor flag. Great on everything. Wings, tenders, burgers, fries, sandwiches. Grab something. Dunk it. You'll thank us later. New honey barbecue sauce. Here for a limited time. Only at Wings, etc.
etc. There's still a lot going on. We'll touch on
yeah.
that in a moment. Here's Laurel Hosmer. She is the athletic director at Valpo University. She's completed 2+ years now, I think, on the job, and it's been a fun season. I think one thing that I talk about this all the time that makes being around Valpo Athletics so enjoyable is the true student-athlete experience. It is different than many other schools. The kids go to class, and they perform extremely well in the classroom, and that has been a constant for Valpo Athletics, and it's one thing that I know it's important to you, it's important to our staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, incredibly proud of the young people that we have, the students and the athletes, and they've done unbelievably well in the classroom, had, high GPAs, continue to really achieve in that way. And, to that end, something that we're really proud of that we feel like is a differentiator for our students and student athletes and our coaches in recruiting is you can be a Division I athlete at Valparaiso University and get an engineering degree or a nursing degree, and that isn't the case for everyone, and they're doing those in person in labs, and we make it work, and that's important, and that's a unique opportunity not afforded everywhere.
I want to touch on that with some of the individual coaches, and I didn't, so that's my fault, but you can be an engineering student, play football at Valpo.
That's right.
And that's been going on for as long as I've been here.
That's right.
And that is not allowed at many schools. And it has been the backbone of Valpo football for 3+ decades, engineering students.
That's right.
And it's a unique experience.
It is, yeah. And I think I'm incredibly proud of that. And our swimming program has a large amount of engineers, and I know Bree spoke earlier, right? But I quote him all the time, John Maravich. He always says, if I'm in a recruit's household and I hear nursing, I know I've got him. Right? And it's because not only is it just that they can do it, but it's a great program, and it prepares them for a great, successful life after soccer, after Valpo.
Let's give out a few numbers. The department, student athletes in the department had a GPA average of 3.32 in the spring. Overall, 273 athletes had a GPA of over 3.0.
That's right.
And every single program averaged over a 3.0.
That's right.
Throughout the 2025-2026 year. That's amazing. All right, let's talk about the landscape of college athletics today.
Sure.
It is crazy.
Where do you want to go?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And retention has become so important, and I've talked to so many coaches here today, 11 to be exact.
Yeah.
And retention seems to be a constant with Valpo Athletics. Why?
Yeah, I think it's about the experience, right? And it's about how we talk to them and how we lead them through the experience, right? But it's something that's something that is important for creating a team and for that environment. And it's hard to do, right? And it gets harder and harder. And I think what our student athletes understand is what they're getting beyond just their athletic experience, right? It is their student experience, it is their education, but it's also that they're so deeply embedded in so much more than just their sport. And so, whether they're in FSL or, in the Christ College or something, right? Like there's much more to their experience, and they have the runway to be so involved in that matter.
There have been many, now this is near and dear to my heart, there's been many athletes in recent years who've been involved in the Torch as sports writers.
Yes.
There's been many athletes who've been involved with WVR as broadcasters. And at a lot of schools, you'll never see that.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's unique as well.
It is. It's all, you see a football player holding a camera at a basketball game, right? And volleyball player writing, asking questions in a press conference. It's a unique, special experience, and you really get to expand and grow and try all sorts of different things here, even in addition to the student athlete experience at the Division I level.
Your background is in fundraising.
That's right.
Fundraising is more important than ever.
Always.
It was important when you got into athletics.
Right.
It's even more important
It is.
now. And you just had a campaign, Valpo Day 2026, and it went very well.
It did. Yeah, really, really, first and foremost, incredibly grateful for everybody that stepped up. I think we grew by 23% in the funds we raised. Some incredibly generous folks stepped up to put matches forward, including Coach Powell, right? He put a match forward for the Men's Basketball Excellence Fund, but we had a lot of that, and what it moves me when fundraising is so important is that people continue to raise their hand and say, I want to invest, and I care, and I believe in your student athletes, these student athletes, and their experience and what they're getting, and we need that. And it's easy, I'm sure everybody's getting solicitation letters from a lot of places, right? When people raise their hand for us, it means something, and so I also just always wanted to say thank you to those that do and that give, because it changes the lives of our student athletes. It's a bandwidth of excellence, right? You can do good enough without philanthropy, but philanthropy is a bandwidth of excellence. And so we need that, and very, very grateful for that. And the participation on that day and the spirit, it's very moving.
All right, before we go, let's give another reminder about the rest of the day. There's still other activities going on.
Yes.
This has been spectacular.
Yeah.
11
Great.
coaches and an athletic director and a 1-hour rapid fire.
We like it that way.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
3:30 to 4:30 down at Brown's, Valpo Velvet.
Yes.
Free scoops, come on
That's right.
out.
If you want a coach to serve you dessert, come down to Valpo Velvet. I'll hop in there for a round myself.
That's 3:30 to 4:30. Then after that, you guys will head over to Inman's.
That's right.
It's become a fun spot for
It
Valpo
is.
Athletics.
That's right.
Bowling at Inman's. Free bowling for Valpo fans
Bowling with the Beacons.
from
Free
5
bowling.
to 7. Laurel, thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you.
All right, we will say, at least for now, so long. It's been fun. Special thanks to Corin Leverich, who helped put this all together, the leader of our Valpo broadcasting team. Todd Ickow saying so long from Wings, etc. And thanks for joining us today on YouTube.